What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala. Today is one of those episodes.
Yes, a very special episode.
Special episode because we've got a very special somebody in the office.
And he's someone who we've tracked his career for a long time, right? In some ways, almost as a parallel to our own as content creators, right?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And we have worked with him and his team on multiple times. He's appeared in our videos multiple times, and now he's a content creator on his own to a certain extent.
Yes.
So we would love to welcome a very warm Yalabat welcome to Mr. Andruew Tang.
What's up, everyone?
What's up,
Also
man?
known as The Statement.
The Statement.
Andruew Tang. Yeah. It's been a while. So let me just do this. I need to get this off my chest.
Can we clarify what that was? Just in case we didn't really set the context.
That's true. We talked about watching his career grow, working together, but we never said what the hell
He does.
the relevance is of what he just said. And
Yeah.
his name, The Statement, right? The Statement is your stage name. Is it a stage name?
This is my wrestling name.
Is your wrestling name
My
because
wrestling persona.
your wrestling persona because you are one of the co-founders of SPW, which stands for Singapore Pro Wrestling.
Or The Statement Pro Wrestling.
The performer coming out
That's
already,
the
bro.
skill in me saying,
Yeah.
Yes.
So your name is officially Andruew the Statement.
No, it's The Statement Andruew Tang.
Oh, The Statement
I have no
Andruew
idea
Tang.
why people, I have like different kind of, people just say my name like Andrew, The Statement Tang, The Statement Andrew Tang,
Yeah.
Andrew Statement Tang.
Yeah.
Because normally it's always like your first name, then your nickname, then your last name, no?
It's fine.
No.
No. I
The
like
Statement
the
Andrew
statement
Tang.
first, Andrew Tang. So it's The Statement Andrew Tang.
So have you thought about changing your name on your IC?
Maybe see how it goes. Why
Not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed yet, lah. But maybe one day, who knows? If I reach to the top level,
Yeah.
then maybe I might change
So
my name
so
to The
one
Statement.
question, one question I've always wanted to ask: what made you become a wrestler?
I
No,
don't
I'm
know.
kidding. Because because the context is right before this podcast, we were talking about the questions we're going to ask, right? And Andrew said, "Please, none of those questions you always get asked."
Yeah.
And that is one of those questions. But what other questions do you always get asked?
What are the standard questions?
Yeah.
The struggles of being a pro wrestler. Is pro wrestling fake? Is the pain real?
You mean people ask you if is pro wrestling fake?
Yeah, can I be the next The Rock? Can I be the next Triple H? Can I be the next Stone Cold?
And you've been doing pro wrestling for how long?
Close to 9 years.
9 years.
I mean, I don't really count the fact that, in the last 2 years, we didn't really do much wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing an actual event.
But when was SPW formed?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So when people ask you, is pro wrestling fake? What do you say?
I mean, I say it's sports entertainment.
Yeah. And then you
it's
suplex them
scripted.
onto the ground.
No. I'm a very peaceful person. I'm not so angsty. But on days when I'm angsty, then I don't know. Sometimes they make get a power bomb from me or Tombstone Power Driver.
Yeah.
So but you never
or
answered.
slap to the face.
But you never answer the question directly, like yes or no. Or
I'll say it's sports entertainment.
Sports
Yeah, it's
entertainment.
scripted. But the pain is real, It's definitely real. And of course, you need of course a lot of training and you need athleticism to actually do the stuff that we do inside the ring,
But just so to clarify, I was shocked that people still ask that question because I thought it's almost like common knowledge.
They
what it
do. I
is.
mean, sometimes I don't know. They will say why are you doing something so fake? It's not real. It's not a real fight. But the thing is it's the passion in all of us as pro wrestlers. We want to entertain people. We want to tell a good story. You know what I mean? We feel good inside the ring. It's like our form of escapism, right? And the thing is when people ask that kind of questions, right? Then when they try pro wrestling, right? Then when they take a bump inside the ring,
yeah.
they feel like, whoa, wow, it really hurts. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that we have to go through every time when we wrestle inside the ring, Yeah, and of course it's something that I love to do. Like if I can do this every day, I can wrestle every day. Bumping, put my body on the line, bumping. Doing moves, taking moves, entertaining the audience. Yeah, that's what I will do,
Because I remember, I mean, in the first video we collaborated with you guys, I think it was, what was it called? Just like
Singapore wrestling moves only Singaporeans will understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was quite a big.
it was
quite
a big hit.
Yes,
And for a lot of the wrestling moves, I was the person. What do you call the person who has the move done on them?
receiver.
I was the receiver.
Yeah.
lah. And holy shit, it fucking hurt. It hurt so bad because I know there are proper ways to fall. But I think once my head hit the canvas, And wow, that felt like it just sucked the ass lah. And even the next few days, my neck was hurting, my shoulder was hurting. And I think we had already watched you live. So seeing it up close and personal already made me realize, oh shit, this is athletic as hell. But to try it right, wow, it was I had the eye-opening experience also lah.
And it was with Eden Ang and Fish from Wah Banana.
Who's Eden Ang?
Yeah lah. I mean, last time Wah Banana cast.
Yeah.
Last time.
Who? Yeah, he was in the news for many reasons.
Separate story.
But
actually, just now you mentioned something. You said the last 2 years, you don't really count them and all that lah.
Yeah.
What has happened the last 2 years?
COVID lah. I mean, everyone knows that COVID happens lah.
But that means...
And of course, like, we can't do events. Yeah, like I say, and as a pro wrestler, of course, the most important thing is for you to actually, like, perform in front of a live crowd, right? I mean, like, you don't perform in front of the live crowd, it's not really wrestling.
Yeah, it's not like you can do a Zoom event, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, we did like a closed door event before, like a tape show, like that was for Proof. For the first season. We might do a season 2 soon. Yeah, but the thing it's very different. It's very different because you know, you like, let's say you're wrestling in a live crowd, you're feeding off the energy from the audience, so you know how to react. Yeah.
Wait, to clarify, Proof is what is Proof?
It's like our latest show that we did. It's like our closed door event.
Okay, so when you
our
close
tape event. So that means basically we tape the shows.
Audience.
No audience.
Okay, just wrestlers performing. Referee.
Yeah, we envisioning that there's a crowd. And then we tape already, and then we just like slowly release it on YouTube.
I see.
But isn't that like weird when there's no crowd? Then
precisely.
Then you're like, oh,
yeah.
come on,
It's a little bit sad lah, because I had that farewell match with Traxxas in front of no audience.
Yes.
And I mean, like even before COVID started, I was surprised by the number of people who were not aware that there was this scene of professional wrestling in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I think we have really tried to bring our friends to come to the events, and almost all of them left with like, oh shit, this is awesome. And I remember the first event that I went for, it was at the Toa Payoh building, the Chamber of Commerce.
No, Chamber of Commerce. Singapore Federation of Chinese Clan Associations. With the big dragon outside, the big long dragon.
Yeah, when I bought a ticket, I was like, what the fuck? Why? What is that building? So, and I remember you go to Toa Payoh, it looks like a pretty epic building from the outside. You go inside, it was at the badminton courts or something. Is it?
No,
or a hall?
bro. Yeah, it's like one of the halls. One
of the halls.
It's not the badminton hall. Maybe I think they have like worship ceremonies or whatever.
Okay.
Wedding ceremonies or like worship sessions.
So it was a hall. It was just like no balcony, right, for people to sit and watch.
It's not second level. Yeah, it's just one level.
So it was inside, and there were 400 people.
400, 500. Yeah,
400 people. The ring was in the middle. Literally, there were seats 1 meter from the ring. The wrestlers were falling into the audience, and it was one of the most fun events I've ever been to in Singapore. That was the first time I went with you, Darren.
First time, yeah.
And after that, I think we've gone for like 5 or 6 after that.
You brought your girlfriend, I brought my wife, we brought friends,
and
relatives,
all that.
Everything.
And it still amazed me, like whenever I mention it to people, they're like, oh, what do you mean there's wrestling in Singapore? And I told them, it's almost like you go there, you shout anything you want, the wrestlers will interact with you.
Yeah,
and it was a great time. Because going to stand-up comedy is great, like, but you can't interact, then you're a heckler. But in wrestling, it's almost encouraged.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Because you want to feel off the energy from the audience. You want the fans to be part of the show as well.
Yeah.
The fans play a huge part in the show. Yeah. Like, trust me, like, if I wrestle in a closed door event, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I need to try to feel it. But when you're inside the ring, it's the whole different story. When you're wrestling in front of the audience, you can definitely feel the energy. Like, you feed off them, you feed off them.
But your character is also the heel, right?
The heel.
Bad.
For most part of my career, I've always been the heel. I always like to be the bad guy.
Why? Why you like being a bad guy?
It's fun, what? It's fun. Why do you want to be the good guy? Why do you want to be loved? Where you can make people hate you, Yeah. But you're a good heel, right? If you like make people hate you so much that they love you. So that's the thing. I always get the mixed reactions. Yeah.
When they clap for you at
but
the end of the
they know
match.
that when I inside the ring, it's no nonsense for me because like I really go all out in terms of like being a heel.
Yeah. And I know there was one time after the event where you said you couldn't remember the fight because you had been...
Oh yeah, I was concussed. It's one of the many injuries that I've got. Yeah. I think you were there. I think
you were fighting...
Locomotive. Yeah, it was for the
yes,
SPW
yes.
Southeast Asia title, lah. You know,
And
the
he's
big
from
bad
where?
Russian bear, Russia,
Russia.
Mother Russia.
And
It's
oh my God, that was-
190.
Yeah,
I think it's 180,
he's huge.
184.
And your height?
Yeah, I'm like 162 lah. Yeah,
But your arms are the
162.
size of my thighs, lah. So, but just
Used to now it's
the
a little
height-
bit small lah. You know, I feel like it's not as big anymore lah. You know, but shell of a man. You know, shell of my former self. You know.
Wait, that means you say show your former self. Is it because you haven't had the wrestling training?
Yeah, maybe.
So the
Yeah.
wrestling training, what do you do? You,
As
you
in, like,
bulk
no,
up
we
or-
do have training and all, but yeah, I mean,
in
like,
ring, in ring.
for me, like, because a couple of months ago, I just tore my,
Oh, yeah.
I tore my pec
Correct.
or benching.
Yeah. You mentioned it. You mentioned it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit bad, you know what I mean? So I can't really like do a lot of moves inside the ring as well. I mean, I still
Got it.
coach and stuff, but you
Yeah.
know, the thing is like I can't do my stuff that I want to do. You know, I want
Yeah,
to train
yeah.
harder. I want to do moves. I want to take moves. I want to wrestle people and all. Yeah.
So it's like wrestling fitness very different from like gym fitness.
No, actually, it's really very different.
It's very different.
In-ring fitness and gym fitness is totally different.
Like how like what's the difference?
Because in ring, right, you really need to know how to pace yourself, like in terms of like knowing how to break your fall properly. You don't like inside the particular match, right? You need to do some sports, right? You need to know when to slow down, when to tell the story, when to actually like expedite the speed,
Yeah.
and you know make the sport look good and sharp, and I mean like in the gym, or you do HIIT, you know, there's a lot of like rest intervals here and there, but for wrestling, it's like 1 minute you're running, 1 minute you're lifting, 1 minute you're taking a fall, so it affects your whole breathing. Yeah.
I see,
Like
I see.
one can be like maybe not that good in the gym, not lifting too heavy or whatsoever, but he can be very functional inside the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ring fitness is a different level.
But correct me if I'm wrong, lah. So because you are probably the most experienced pro wrestler in Singapore, a lot of times you are probably almost carrying a bulk of the load when it comes to these matches with younger wrestlers, lah.
Yeah.
Because you have to sort of make them look good, lah, like you said.
Yeah.
So that for example, you need to take the falls. You need to make it look a lot harder than it is. And
Yeah,
things like that,
of
lah,
course,
right?
of course.
Okay. So you almost do double duty, lah.
Double duty.
Because you're the most experienced.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
like, of course, if let's say I wrestle in another country and
Yeah.
the promoter wants me to promote the other wrestler, and of course, say Andruew Tang, a statement, you're gonna take a fall, I'll take a fall, I'll gladly take a fall. You know, but the thing is about doing a good match, or whatever the promoter wants you do.
Yeah.
And of course, like, to help make your opponent look good. It's a two-way thing. Because if you help me look good, I mean, I help you look good, you definitely have to help make me look good as well, right? Yeah.
So that's one thing that I always find so fascinating. Like in some way, you did say it's sports entertainment, and generally people know that it's scripted, lah, right? But even when you script, how much do you script? Like the moves, like whether you do a suplex now or later.
I can't really say that.
Oh, you
too
can't
much,
say.
lah.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
trade secret.
It's a trade secret, lah. Yeah.
There's some tricks to it,
Yeah.
lah.
It's really not 100%, lah. But all I can say is that, whenever I wrestle against like international wrestlers, like there's no such thing as a rehearsal, lah.
Oh, is it because no time?
Yeah, many people might ask like, oh, do you rehearse in wrestling? I'm like, no rehearsals, lah.
No time, lah. Is it?
It's not no time, lah. Like it's quite noob if you rehearse, lah.
Oh, really?
If let's say you're going against like top notch like international wrestlers, lah. Because
Yeah.
the thing is like when you're wrestling inside the ring, like I say about feeding off energy, we want it to be very organic and real.
So,
Yeah.
so what other art form or sport would you say it has similar, or even like let's say improv comedy?
Yeah.
Improv comedy, the rule of like yes and, like if you say something to be a good improv comic that's feeding off each other, you never say no. If someone says, oh, there's a unicorn in front of me, the other person has to play along and interact with the unicorn and all that. So is there any similarities there in wrestling, or is it just so unique that you haven't come across anything like it?
I think the closest example I can say is that certain parts of the match, it's not planned. So you don't really know what the opponent is going to do, but you just need to know how to sell and react accordingly, lah. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, that's all I can say, lah.
Okay.
I mean, whenever I hear like musicians jam together, that also blows my mind. I mean, I've never really played much music, but it seems like they get into this thing where they are riffing off each other. They don't know what's going to happen, but they are skilled enough to make something out of nothing lah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think for pro wrestling, it's like we really need, if let's say, we have very good chemistry with each other, the match will be very good. Like, I mean, like some wrestlers, you know, me and like Traxxas, we have really good chemistry with each other. Like right now, we can just talk and then like maybe like give us 20 minutes later or 10 minutes later, we can do a match. So it will definitely be a very good match, you know, or something that.
So based on that,
people
if,
remember.
if Terrence and I were to have a wrestling match, it should be quite good also lah.
Not bad, like you guys have very good chemistry together. That's why I'm
But-
pretty
but-
sure of that.
But he'll be crushed straight away lah. Within the
Yeah, I
first-
won't even deny. I think when I was young, I was, size is nothing, I will fucking win. Now I'm like, okay, like if I get into a fight with Terrence, I will cause some damage, but I'll probably lose lah.
You'll be the 1-2-3 kid lah. You'll be like the 1-2-3 kid.
It's always about, it's always about lie, cheating, and stealing. You need to know how to work smart inside the match.
work smart.
No,
You
it's not
never
about
know
winning.
lah.
It's about
No,
making
no, it's
value.
about
Maybe
winning,
like
yeah.
unorthodox
No, if
tactics,
it's-
that's surprise your opponents. You never know.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
an eye rake, a low blow. Never know. Turn the equation, turn the tide, right?
Because okay, like you talk about chemistry with Traxxas, who was also part of SPW.
Yeah.
Of course, we want to
And
talk
now
about.
he's a huge star.
Want to talk about that at some point. But
Yeah.
if you're meeting a new wrestler, it's almost like a Tinder date, right?
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to wrestle and put on a performance in front of a crowd.
Actually, like, like this great wrestler, Amy Sakura, legend, the Joshi legend,
Yes,
she
yes,
told
I
us
watched
before, like, wrestling, right? Wrestling a match, wrestling a match is something similar to a Tinder date or a date, because you need to create that the very good positive first impression.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because like if let's say you wrestle in like other countries,
Yeah.
you cannot expect like the fans to know who you are.
Yeah.
You need to create that particular impression.
Also,
lah.
the
So
impression
for
on
them
the
to
fans,
remember,
not the other wrestler.
yeah, maybe both lah, but also for the fans. Maybe
Okay,
the fans,
okay.
Yeah.
And then so if it's like if you use the analogy of a date, sometimes the date is going bad and you just want to end it. But for wrestling, you can't do that, right?
Not really. You can't really.
So you
end
just
that.
need to find a
You
way
just need to try to go with the flow
And
or
win them over lah.
Win them over, yeah. You need to try to do something in the match to get the reaction. It's about getting the reaction. Like if you're maybe like you're playing the match and you're thinking like you say like, oh, maybe I'll do this spot and then I'll get that kind of reaction, but you don't get the reaction,
Yeah.
and the crowd goes dead. So
Yeah.
you need to know how to work up that fire again.
Ah.
Yeah, it could be anything, like the way you look at the fans, or the
Yeah.
way you shout, or the way you move, or you just do some kind of like another sequence or whatsoever lah.
And did that come very naturally to you, or it was something over time that you?
I think it's really over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
By experience lah. You need to know how to work the crowd. Yeah.
Got it. But so you were mentioning also about the last 2 years have been tough in that we haven't had any wrestling events and all that.
Yeah.
What has replaced wrestling for the not just yourself but the bulk of the roster, the SPW roster? What's everyone like doing to fill the gap in their lives?
I think they've been working hard. Working hard as in like
You mean like jobs?
inside
like-
the gym, and of course
the gym,
their
okay.
jobs as well lah. Yeah.
Okay,
They've been
okay,
working
okay.
out.
and all awaiting the next big.
Waiting for the big thing lah, for the big event to come back lah.
I
You
see,
know,
I
the
see.
Big event where they can perform in front of the live audience lah.
Yeah.
I mean, amongst your roster of wrestlers, there were people who were not born in Singapore, right? And I mean, I remember you told me some stories of wrestlers and how wrestling really was a transformative experience for them.
Yes, of course. I think
Can
a
you
good
just
example
share,
would
yeah.
be one guy called Rowdy Ranga, and a wrestler. He was legit from India.
Yeah.
He came here. I think he was doing cleaning or whatsoever, but he had the passion for wrestling, and he signed up with SPW lah. And he performed like for a couple of matches and stuff before he had to went back to his country lah. Yeah, but wow, man, trust me, he has the biggest pop ever. Like when he came out, right?
Yeah, we were there.
right?
We were there.
Everyone started dancing. Like
Yeah.
we were playing like Bollywood music and stuff, and it was mad.
Yeah.
It's just like things like that make me feel happy for my wrestlers lah. Because they are living their dreams. Like they're living a different life
Did
as
he
well.
say anything to you after the
Yeah,
match?
of course, he was very thankful about the opportunity that was given to him lah. And he worked hard. Like to me, I think like most people will know that quite a no nonsense guy. Like especially when it comes to training. Like if it's not good, I'll say it's not good. If it's good, if you're good, I'll say you're good. Yeah, because the thing is, I really want my wrestlers to improve and get better. Yeah, so I'm very, very harsh on them. Yeah.
So you said gave him opportunity. So you're talking as a promoter, lah.
As a promoter, yeah.
That means how did you decide whether someone is supposed will be in this event or this match?
Of course, it's the first thing I will see is their wrestling ability, lah. Their wrestling ability, and then of course, how much of a draw that they can be, lah. Yeah.
Okay.
So how hardworking they are. Yeah, in terms of like committing to the gimmick, or whether the gimmick is interesting, and what will whether the gimmick will actually like bring tickets to watch, bring the fans to watch them in the ring.
But he had not performed in front of an audience because maybe to recap my recollection of the event, we were at the Toa Payoh.
I think it was his debut match.
Yeah, his debut match. I remember the lights went off.
Yeah.
Right, and on the screen there was this video of just like people in some sort of like maybe like a Indian kampong, like all looking towards the camera, and then the Bollywood music came, and he came out, and it
was lit, man. It was the biggest reaction. Yeah, precisely because it's the element of surprise, right? Like everybody, when they first start wrestling, they say like, I want to be the cool guy, I want to be like The Rock, I want to be like Undertaker, I want to wear black. But no, wrestling is about creating like memories and be different, right? So imagine you see like this guy, Rowdy Ranga, he comes out to something very different and very unique. And what?
And
the fans go crazy
with the Bhangra movement.
Yes, precisely.
And I think that video is on YouTube, right? Because I watched it.
Yeah, it's
I
on
watched
YouTube.
it again. We'll put the link in the episode
Rowdy
description.
Ranga versus Danny Dama.
And he got destroyed. He got
I
destroyed.
can't remember what was his first match.
No,
that was the second match, I think.
I think Danny Dama was second match. And Rowdy Ranga he's not the biggest guy, right?
He's not the biggest,
So he came out and I was like, oh,
but he was one of the more hardworking guys.
Yeah,
very
can
hardworking.
tell,
He always,
can tell.
came for training.
Yeah.
He went through my tough training,
and he had dreams of
but
being
he didn't
a
give up.
wrestler.
He didn't give up. Yeah, that's the
That
thing.
gimmick, it won the crowd over. Who came out with that gimmick actually? Was it a combined thing? Or?
I think it was a combined thing. Yeah,
Actually,
he had
can
some
walk us
ideas.
through that process of what do they have to do if they say, okay, Andruew, I want to perform? Like they have to come up with a gimmick, a costume.
Yeah, they will come up with a gimmick. Okay,
Yeah.
then I will just try to talk to them and see I will talk to them and see whether this gimmick is feasible for them. Obviously, if you're like you're a really tiny guy and then you say you want to be the Undertaker, then I'll be like, nah man, sometimes they have very, very like unique ideas now. They
So the
want to be
gimmick,
like
the
wrestlers that they envision themselves to be, but when they're not that.
So the gimmick is kind of like what the story or the angle or the hook of the
It's
wrestler.
the character.
The character.
Yeah, like what will compel people to support the wrestler?
Mm.
Why you have to give the fans the reason why that I should be emotionally invested in you.
So do you remember what his gimmick was?
His gimmick was just like I think it was just like a scene from a Bollywood movie lah.
Oh.
Yeah. Colorful costume. That's why
Yeah.
with all the Bhangra music and all.
Yeah. Rowdy.
Rowdy, ma. Yeah.
Rowdy Ranga.
Yeah.
That was so epic. So it is a process of almost creating a character, creating a character.
Yeah.
Like, do you all explore like backstory and like what happened to this guy?
We do. I think maybe along the way of our career, we will try to come up with the backstory lah. Yeah, but it's best to have the backstory before that as well lah. Yeah.
So your gimmick was what?
I'm just an asshole. I know I'm good at being an asshole lah.
But the
so,
statement,
the
specifically, why the statement?
Yeah, because whether it's inside the ring, outside the ring, or whatever I do, I want to leave an impressionable statement on people's mind lah. And of course, like since young, I always wanted to, entertain people and be the center of attention. So yeah, why not be the statement?
Also from
lah?
the young, you
of
wanted
course.
to be the
I
center
want
of
the
attention.
eyeballs to be on me lah.
I see.
It's all about me, baby. Yeah.
So I mean the goal right now, I mean I think you guys have had a good number of press outlets cover you, right, along the years.
Of course.
And I think a lot more people are aware now. And recently you mentioned, Traxxas, he's now based abroad, right?
Now he's the first Singaporean to be in the WWE, and now he's renamed himself as Dante Chen.
Dante Chen.
Dante Chen.
So what is the process of getting to WWE?
I mean, I would say that the journey is not easy at all lah. Usually a matter of like luck, opportunity as well. Because at the point of time, we knew the WWE Southeast Asia GM. Yeah. So he's a big supporter of SPW. He came to our shows and stuff, and then he's always trying to, you know, promote SPW to the WWE, to the execs lah. You know, and then somehow or other, I think in 2017 the WWE wanted to the WWE came down in Singapore because they were looking at the possibility of doing a Asia tournament. Yeah. So, you know, they did a tour around Malaysia, Dubai, I think Philippines as well. They came to Singapore, and then I remember that was like the eve of Chinese New Year. Yeah, that was the only available date that they could actually like visit us. We did it lah. And then of course, like, you know,
Wait, sorry, visit us meaning
visit SPW. They came down to Singapore.
or to the office or to
No,
to
they
the
came
gym?
to the show.
The show,
To the
oh,
event,
okay.
to watch us.
You
to scout us.
You didn't tell them you Americans don't recognize the holiday of the Chinese culture and stuff like that.
No, I didn't do that.
No,
Because obviously they would not like consider me for the tryouts. Yeah. So we did the match. They were really impressed. And then actually I felt that they wanted to do the Asia tournament, but in the end they changed it into the Mae Young Classic. Yeah.
Which was what?
The women's tournament.
Oh,
Because at the point of
okay.
time they had like this freelance tournament, so they will just hire freelance wrestlers and then you're not signed by WWE, but you work under their brand, and of course you just wrestle for them in this tournament kind of thing. And
Got
if
it.
you do well, if you outshine everyone, then they probably give you a chance to, they give you a contract straight lah.
Yeah.
But apparently like it got cancelled because of the Mae Young Classic, right? They decided to go with the Mae Young Classic, and then we had to wait for like 2 more years in 2019. And then I just follow up by email. What about you're coming down to Singapore? You're trying to do an Asia tournament whatsoever, and then decided to like come down to Asia to scout talent, Southeast Asia to scout for talent, and then they came to our training center, and then finally like they had to like watch the show again and then to reconfirm, and then we get a chance for the tryouts.
the tryouts.
Tryouts.
I
So
see.
we went for the WWE tryouts in Shanghai in 2019.
Okay.
They are very, very particular with who they want.
So who went from Singapore?
Traxxas, me, and Alexis Lee.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I see.
Alexis Lee being a female.
She's really the first Singaporean female pro wrestler.
Okay. And that process of going to Shanghai, what was that like for the tryouts?
It was a mind blowing one. It was like a dream come true for us as well. Yeah, we went there. I think it's 4 days. I guess it was 4 days. Actually, I can't remember. It was quite a while. Basically we had to do like the basics and stuff like that.
And
to really impress.
From all around
So there were
Asia?
like 40 trainees, 40 aspiring wrestlers there. I mean like I think 30 from China and then 10 from Southeast Asia lah.
Wow, 10 from
For Southeast Asia was really quite hard for us because I think for China was an open casting. So some wrestlers are, I mean like some trainees, some recruits lah, they are not even skilled in pro wrestling. So some could be like ex-athletes or
I see.
boxers, MMA fighters, models here and there. But for the 10 Southeast Asian wrestlers, like literally we earned the spot to get to
because
where
you
we
guys
are
were
lah.
invited
We
lah.
were invited.
You guys were invited.
Like we did, like what I mean, right? They came down, watch our show, and then they really were.
So the 4 days
They
was
picked
just
us lah.
like doing training drills, doing fighting matches.
No, there's only 1 day of match. So at the start, basically you have to do some promo, introduce yourself here and there, a little bit of character work because they want to see your personality, and then of course like an outdoor boot camp, and then of course just simple wrestling drills lah.
But no like napfa test or anything. Push ups, run.
Actually, there was a small
napfa
kind of test
IPPT,
lah. Small kind of like wrestling drill kind of test.
Was this
It was just for fun lah, I guess. Yeah.
it wasn't part of a show or TV show or anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything was just behind closed doors. And
Behind closed doors.
I see. Okay.
And it was run by WWE staff who came down, or
Yeah.
WWE.
The WWE staff came out. So the head coach of NXT of our Performance Center, Matt Bloom. Yeah, he was there. Coach Bloom.
So what is the relationship between NXT and WWE?
NXT is like a developmental brand. So that's where like most wrestlers are in to actually like build up their character, build up their gimmick. It's like a testing ground for them, a proving ground for them before they get called for the main roster.
I see. But it's
So of
also
course
part of
the dream is to be in the main roster, Raw or SmackDown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw or Smack, and it's
Raw,
all
SmackDown.
owned by WWE lah.
Yeah, it's all owned by WWE. NXT is owned by WWE as well.
So how long after that Shanghai stint did you all find out who made it to the next round?
Actually, to be honest, like after the tryouts, we already knew who made it. So that's why Traxxas was like keeping mum for close to 2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Why did wait 2 years and before he?
Actually, he was supposed to get called out last year.
Okay.
Yeah, last year, but because of COVID.
COVID.
And then like
actually,
he wanted to finish his diploma first before heading
got
to
it.
the States. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So he knew that it was going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah, he knew already.
And
yeah.
that it happening was to go to the US for 3 years, is it?
3 years.
What's he went to the US? What's the arrangement there now? He's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler for WWE. Yeah.
For how long? Or it's just
I think the term of the contract is 3 years. I think.
okay. So that means it's full-time wrestling
Full-time wrestling lah.
in Florida,
Orlando. Yeah.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So actually, just going to the psyche of indie organization, like based somewhere in like Singapore, where
Yeah.
I mean there are fans, but again, it's still a bit more niche, say compared to football, lah, right?
Correct,
As a
yeah.
sport. How did it feel like being there and representing like Southeast Asia against the Chinese? You know,
It
people.
was a
and all?
huge thing lah.
Was there like a rivalry almost?
Not
like,
rivalry lah.
Then what
Okay,
did it
actually, maybe
feel like?
there was I think like everyone's competitive there
Yeah,
because
yeah,
everybody
I
wants
can
that
imagine.
sport lah.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a ratio of how many Chinese they would take versus like Southeast Asians or?
Actually, we didn't really expect much. Like to be honest, right? Like Traxxas and me thought like they might do like a mass recruitment because the previous time they recruited like the very first China trials, they recruited like 7 or 8. Yeah,
That's a lot, yeah.
it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time around they are very particular. They recruited like 1 China wrestler, 1 Singaporean wrestler, 1 Japanese wrestler, and a female China wrestler. That's all. 4.
shit.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
unpredictable.
Wow.
Yeah. To be honest, like the trials actually like Triple H was supposed to be there, but I think because he had like some taping or something to do, so he didn't show up lah. Yeah,
I see.
Or I think it was a pay-per-view or whatsoever. Yeah, it was a pay-per-view.
But so I mean, again, like this is like 2019, very different time in the world, and almost I can say almost very different time for the wrestling industry also. Like.
Yeah.
Because now last time WWE was like seen as the only the pinnacle.
Yes.
But now we're talking about I mean for non-wrestling people, non-wrestling fans, there's another rival organization that has come out and is backed by a billionaire named Tony Khan.
Khan, yes.
It's called All Elite Wrestling.
Wrestling.
And a lot of like big
AEW.
stars have crossed over.
Yeah.
And they have a TV contract and they have signing big names as well. Lah.
Yes.
So now there seems to be a competition,
Correct.
So do you think that there's a good chance or better opportunities for say Southeast Asian wrestlers now?
Yes, I definitely think that it's a very good opportunity for them lah. Because I feel that WWE has a particular kind of like wrestler. I mean, the type of wrestler that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Because I read the dirt sheets and stuff.
Yeah.
They say like right now they are looking, especially for NXT 2.0, because I think like Vince McMahon's like full control right now. Because previously Triple H was like in control of NXT. They are looking for wrestlers above the age of above the height of 180.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're not looking for wrestlers below the age of 30.
They're not looking for wrestlers.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there a reason why they don't want youth?
Because they want to groom the younger talent.
Oh, they
Yeah.
want to-
And
oh,
I think
okay,
for Vince McMahon, I think like height and size matters for him.
Yeah, so the rumor on the street is that he loves big balloon
Very big
muscles
guys.
and all that.
Yeah.
And-
It's like, yes. So this the question, if like aspiring wrestlers out there, you want to ask yourself whether you can make it to WWE. I'm just trying to be frank. This is what they're looking for. Yeah, unless you are very, very good inside the ring, you have something very special, you have something unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like
a
you can
ra-
offer to WWE,
Yeah.
then they might consider you lah. But if
Unique,
let's
like
say,
if you're high flying like Rey Mysterio.
yeah,
kind
like
of
your
thing,
skills like of another level,
okay,
like
okay.
your gymnast and stuff. But then again, this is wrestling lah. So to be honest, size matters lah. Yeah. Like I may be quite big in size compared in Southeast Asia, maybe in Japan. Because I'm short, but I'm like stout.
Yeah.
But if let's say you're in America,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game. Yeah, Traxxas was telling me about his stories over in America, like the people he meet there, the trainees over there. Wow,
And
it's
like-
another level, man.
But he wouldn't even be considered that
I
big.
think
right?
there was once in his class, right? Yeah, he's quite a big dude. He's
Yeah.
like 183, 95 kilos. He said he was the smallest. He was the shortest in class. Shortest in class.
Oh my god.
Shortest in
Shortest in
Shortest
class.
in class.
Yeah, I remember he's like in Singapore, he's a giant lah.
He's a giant, yeah.
Yeah, he's the shortest in class. But like, I mean, so basically what you're saying, because now there's an alternative network, they might want to differentiate. They might look for a different profile of wrestlers.
Yeah, for AEW. Like, because AEW, like, you see wrestlers all shapes, all sizes. Yeah.
No, the other thing is the philosophy as well, right? Where AEW, correct me if I'm wrong, lah, it allows or takes in wrestlers from other organizations
Correct.
to perform for like one night only or a couple
Yeah,
of weeks.
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So it almost fosters a much more stronger network right around
Of,
the world.
in the pro wrestling industry.
Japanese wrestlers
Yes,
all the come.
yes.
And they really focus on the skills, right?
Yes.
As opposed to like how big you are, how good you look,
Correct.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's a very different philosophy from WWE, lah, which is like we must own you and build you up and all.
Correct,
that.
yeah.
So would something like that fit better for what the SPW talent stream and everything?
To be honest, I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you bring in some really big names.
I
to
brought in
Singapore.
Kenny Omega, man. He's
Yeah,
the
he-
exec.
he's
He's
the
one of
guy,
the
yeah.
exec of AEW lah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
had
yeah.
a match with him. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Imagine. So I mean, I almost doing what all this like AEW is doing in the US, but for Southeast Asia already, lah.
Yeah. I
So-
bring in different promotions. I mean, I bring wrestlers for different promotions as well because I just want to put the spotlight on other promotions in Southeast Asia as well. Yeah, and of course, like for me in SPW is of course to help make the sport more mainstream. You know, I would just bring like one or two big names down
Yeah,
for our shows lah. You know,
Yeah.
that's how to help turn the normal fans or like the more mainstream fans to actually support the whole Singapore pro wrestling scene lah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are there other countries in the world where their wrestling landscape is similar to Singapore, or like which countries is wrestling the biggest right now?
Southeast Asia, you mean?
No,
Or
just overall definitely US lah, right?
Japan also.
Or
is
Japan.
huge.
Okay,
Japan's huge.
Japan. But which other
Like, I
countries?
think in 1 week, right, you can do like maybe 4 matches
4 matches,
a week. Yeah.
and there's like a ton of professional wrestlers there. I assume.
Tons of professional wrestlers. Yeah.
But what about other countries? Like where else is there a hotbed of wrestling talent, or the wrestling scene is very vibrant?
Mexico.
Mexico,
Mexico, yeah.
re-
But it's a different kind of wrestling over there. Right? It's
Luchador.
lucha libre, it's
Lucha
about
libre.
flying and
Yeah.
stuff. The psychology is slightly different.
And anonymity also, right?
yeah.
Wait, so actually, I always wanted to ask you this question. Like, given Singapore's scene and everything, right?
Yeah.
How come? Why don't you pack up bags and say move to Japan and build a name there in Japan or something?
For
'Cause-
me, for
yeah,
myself.
for yourself
Like do a
personally,
JJ Lin or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now at this stage of my life, I mean the thought did cross my mind lah. But the thing is, like I feel that since I co-founded the whole pro wrestling industry in Singapore,
Yeah.
I feel that I still want to groom up the younger talents and give the younger talents or all the aspiring wrestlers in Singapore a platform for them to showcase what they want to do lah. Yeah, that's the thing that's holding me back as well lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dante Chen happening is kind of like a statement. I mean, pardon, a statement of what your your philosophy has led to, lah. Right?
Yeah.
Finding young talent, grooming them, and then they get noticed and picked up.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, my dream is of course to get signed by the WWE lah, but because of things and because of I didn't get signed because of
they will hold future trials lah, probably, right?
they have future tryouts lah. Yeah, but like I said, like now they really know what they're looking for. Yeah,
I see.
How about crossovers into let's say like how CM Punk and Brock Lesnar went to MMA?
yeah.
Yeah. How about is that a possibility for you?
For me, I don't know, man. Why not? Maybe I can try, but I might not say that I'm a very good fighter.
Oh, you do an exhibition match, like
Exhibition match against
like,
Kurt Tay or Steven Lim. Oh yeah, maybe why not? If the price is right, I'll do it. Make sure it's an entertaining one as well. Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
You never
man.
know. Promoters out there, if you want to do a match, you know what to do.
Yeah. But I mean, how has like being in wrestling, it seems on the surface very combative, right?
Yeah.
Very like, fighting this, but how has that shaped your outlook on life? I know that sounds very philosophical, but like you interact with people who come and train to be wrestlers.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, you see people play other characters and bring the stories. Has it changed the way you see things in any way?
changed the way I see things in every way.
Or like the fact that even Singaporeans are willing to come and take a beat down. Is there like any thoughts you have about that?
I think I think these are the individuals who are really passionate about what they want to do lah. They really want to live their dreams lah. It's a very good testament to show that, as Singaporeans, right, back before 2012, like nobody would think that there would be a pro wrestling scene at all, right? But these people just still fight on lah, and they want to take the first step to try to actually live their dreams lah. So it's very heartwarming to see that lah.
Wow.
But do you
and of course, like the road of a pro wrestler is not an easy one lah.
Sure.
It's not like we're getting paid like $1 million. You need to get like good money. When you actually make it mainstream lah. There's a lot of like sacrifices that has to be made lah. Like my wrestlers has to work like part-time jobs as well to support their dream. And of course, like sometimes when I first started my career, I have to pay for my own flight over hotel sometimes to actually like get exposure in promotions over there. But I still do it lah because this is what I really love to do lah.
I see. Also, have you seen the uptick in people wanting to try out wrestling since Dante Chen?
Yeah, I do see that.
Like young people and all.
Yeah.
And what's your criteria for like sieving out who are the jokers and who are the serious ones?
For me, it's like I think it boils down to the attitude. The attitude of wanting to learn. You may not be the best wrestler, but as long as you keep coming back for more and wanting to improve and learn and take criticism, and of course, not be a prima donna lah. What I mean by prima donna is like basically listening to what your trainer say. Of course, like me, I've been wrestling for like so long, right? 9 years. Of course, I know what works, what doesn't work, right? And like especially knowing your place on the card, because there's like I have like past wrestlers lah. They come in, do a debut. It's just a debut match. Like you're supposed to do like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. They want to do everything. But they have to know their place, like especially like if let's say I go to Japan, the promoter says, "Oh, you don't do this." I listen. Because you're working for a promoter,
When you
right?
say don't do this, what could be this? Like a certain
Like maybe for the first match, let's say you're on the first match on the card, or maybe your second or third match on the card, or you just do a debut. You won't obviously want to like do a suicide dive. It's like for the it's like for the wrestlers on the higher card to showcase their stuff, right?
It's a crazy move, lah.
It's a crazy move. Like you jump off the ring, you want to fly, or you want to be like Jeff Hardy. Or there are some wrestlers who like they are really marks lah. They say like, I need to be like this wrestler. I need to do this move inside the match. I have to hit this move inside the match. But it's not about hitting that move inside the match, right? It's not about being somebody else. Why can't you be that? Why do you want to be somebody else when you can be the first you, right? Like add your own style and add your own flair to what you're doing, the moves that you're doing, right? Personality is everything, what?
That really reminds me of our experience in stand-up comedy.
I know,
Because we tried out stand-up comedy for the first time. We learned a lot of things from people who are more experienced. They told us, even the order of who goes up really matters to warm up the audience and everything. And if the first person doesn't play their part, everyone else is screwed for the night.
And even the type of crowd, like because there's someone to go and warm up the crowd first before the actual show starts.
Correct.
After that, the organizers and the comedians will talk. Okay, today's crowd, they were more about the jokes that are a bit more slapstick, maybe not so thought provoking. Okay, that means you go first, and you. Then I was like, oh shit.
Like for me, when
like
I do an event, I will really plan like the order of the card, like the order of matches. Like
Do you switch them around last minute or anything?
No, not really.
No, okay.
Yeah, because you always want to start off hot.
Yeah.
The next match cannot be hot. And second match cannot be hot. You need to be like a little bit low, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah.
Wow, that's damn interesting. Because there have been certain times in the event where it's like sometimes, if it's too hot, you also get like a bit
too tired.
spent.
The fans get too tired because they keep cheering until like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And also like we try to make sure. Okay, this is indie wrestling. It's not like WWE because we, WWE like they really micromanage right down to everything. But for indie wrestling, like we let my wrestlers do the stuff. Express their creativity. But obviously like match 1, you do a DDT, match 2 you do a DDT. Cannot always be the same moveset always, because the fans will be like, yes, this is very similar. It's very similar to like previous match and stuff like that. So they really need to like kind of like curate the match as well.
So when you say WWE micromanage, to what extent do they micromanage?
Even the timing.
The timing of a certain move.
The timing of the match. Like, for example, you might be given like 10 minutes to do a match like me. You're supposed to do a 10-minute match. So because there's no time, they say, oh, okay, your match has been cut short, so you need to finish the match in 2 minutes.
On the day itself. Like
Right on the spot lah.
On the spot.
Yeah, maybe like you be walking up from your entrance, right? It's supposed to be a 10-minute match. Like you have the idea that a 10-minute match, right? Once you step foot inside the ring, the referee will say, oh, now you have 2 minutes. You have to finish the match in 2 minutes.
Wow. Oh shit. That's stressful.
That's like telling us before we go up for stand-up comics.
yeah.
Terrence, you prepared 10 minutes. Sorry, you got 2 minutes. So you better make it as funny.
Yeah.
Better get all the
Today
laughs.
podcast 5 minutes only.
Today podcast 5 minutes.
It's another level, yeah. But they are trained to do that. They are trained to do that as well.
Got it. So right now, who do you? I mean, you are a lot of people look up to you as the pioneer in wrestling here.
Yeah.
But who do you look up to for inspiration and all?
You mean the wrestlers?
Wrestlers or anybody in life,
International,
like
international, yeah. Anybody.
International wrestlers.
Or anyone.
Anyone.
Can be PM Lee also.
Lee Kuan Yew also. Everything.
I don't know, the wrestling scene. I think it's really like Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, who you've wrestled with,
Who I wrestled with.
personally.
And Kenny Omega is
It's an
from...
inspiration, like a huge inspiration for me. In my
He's
career.
from where? He's from where?
Canada. He used to be from Canada. Yeah, now he's
see.
based in America.
But
Yeah.
what about him?
So
that-
like stories that like he said I think like he bought a one-way ticket to Japan, and he says like he either make it or he'll break. Yeah, and he made it big in Japan.
That was how he started. As in, he just
So
got...
he trained in Canada.
Yeah,
then
correct.
After that, he branched out into Japan, and then he became a huge name in Japan. Yeah, then he didn't look back lah. He just keep wrestling and all. And then he really built a name for himself in the indies and whatsoever. And now look at him, like he's such a huge star, man. Like
Yeah.
he won like numerous titles and stuff. Yeah, even came down to Singapore. I mean, like I had the opportunity to have like to hang out with him lah. It was like really quite a, not being a fanboy lah, but that's like a big moment for me as well lah.
And you say, sorry for being so Singaporean, but you say when he made it big means also like financially everything. He's
Of course,
super
The 5
sick.
C's all settled.
Of course, he's making big money.
And so
Wrestling,
and that was
yeah.
all outside of WWE lah, right?
Outside of WWE, yeah. I think WWE offered him a contract and he rejected it.
Rejected. Wow.
So in Japan, is that a WWE equivalent or
New Japan,
it's a very different
Yes,
New
this is a
Japan?
promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So, now we're seeing an increasing trend of older world-class athletes. You get Federer, Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, all getting older. But for a sport like wrestling, right?
Yeah.
What typically happens when a wrestler can't perform anymore in such physical capacity?
They become managers, commentators, producers.
Okay.
Or if not like some of the wrestlers, like, if like they really make a name for themselves already.
Yeah,
So they either do like their own promotion. Lah.
I see.
Yeah,
okay,
they can be the boss, some kind of booker here and there.
I
And
guess
of
in
course,
some
like
way, yeah.
some wrestlers who can do cross-transitioning, like transition into like other stuff of entertainment. Like, like The Rock, wrestler to become an actor.
Yeah.
Here and there. Yeah.
Wow. So in some ways, like you, because you started out so early,
Yeah.
you are sort of, you have that responsibility to carry SPW on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at today's, people just starting out or that and envy that they have an ecosystem to just join and just do wrestling and don't have to worry about all the logistics side of things?
Yeah.
You do,
Because now it's better now lah.
Yeah.
Now compared to last time where we really have to like figure out even like there's no shortcuts in training lah. What I went through was really intense lah.
Meaning
of training,
the initial part of learning how to
wrestle.
do it.
Yeah,
Oh.
wrestle. Yeah.
So you could see some new people complain. They're like, "Shut the fuck up! Okay, you have no idea." got you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I try to be nice to them lah. Cause I'm more encouraging lah. Like last time back in the days, I was pretty tough on my trainees lah. Yeah, but it's for their own good lah.
So the trainees that come in, is it a mix of people who generally want to be committed to wrestling, or just some people see it as
Mix.
physical exercise?
They'll be mixed. Yeah, some people
mix,
just want to like see it as physical exercise. Some of them just want to like build up the confidence here and there. Just give pro wrestling a try. But I think, majority, that wants to try pro wrestling, they really have that intention to do pro wrestling. If not, why?
Yeah,
do
you
pro
must
wrestling,
perform, right?
I can like just go to
you have to
another
perform.
gym or like
Right.
go to like a MMA center or what to like burn off the calories and learn how self defense and stuff like this.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But obviously, when you try out pro wrestling is you have the intention to want to perform in front of live audience, right? Or at least like do one match to live your dreams, right?
So there was one. There was just one gimmick that I saw before, and it turned out it was somebody that I actually met before, lah. They did something called, I think, the colonialist or something.
So colonizer.
Yeah. It was a white woman who was basically going around saying, you guys are trash.
She was the colonizer.
She's amazing.
It gets to quite touchy topics also lah.
Yeah,
so
of course.
What is the most like edgy gimmick that anyone in Singapore has done or pushed?
Edgy.
Can be a storyline, so not necessarily a character or what.
Storyline.
I think okay. For one, I remember there was an intergender match that we ended up watching, and it was like Alexis getting beaten up by some dude lah. So at first I was like, how the hell is this gonna
Alexis getting beaten up by some dude right at the start? Oh, you mean like the recent show? Is it?
No.
The recent YouTube taping.
Not quite a number of years. Like there was an intergender match where this guy was just very angry, and then I think Alexis came out, and then they started to have intergender match lah. So to me,
I see. Yeah.
this is
I know which match you're referring to. I think
sketchy.
against Sane RH or something.
Yeah. So and then almost like you want to take out chain and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is edgy, man. So what was the edgiest thing that y'all have pushed?
Wow.
Or do you specifically don't want to go to specific areas because it's too edgy?
Yeah, no, we try to keep it family friendly.
Family friendly, okay.
family
Colonialize.
Yeah, the colonizer, like, some of the content is like a little bit like, whoa,
that's
gotta
like pretty
watch
whoa
what
already.
you
I
say,
remember there was
lah,
one guy who was playing a Malaysian character also, and he came out and said,
yes.
all you Singaporeans, you get fuck off or something. Then the whole fans all went against him.
Singapore-Malaysia conflict.
Singapore-Malaysia conflict.
Very
Oh, I
strong.
really can't remember.
That's quite a number of years
Yeah.
back.
But just now you were saying that you do classes. I mean, are you still accepting students now?
Yeah,
or-
we are still accepting students.
So where can people find you, find out more about SPW?
on our Facebook page, on our YouTube,
Which is, what's
on our
the
Instagram page as well.
what's the handle? What's the page?
SPW Singapore Pro Wrestling SPW on Facebook lah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we are more active on Facebook actually.
Okay. And yeah, so if they want to sign up for classes, all the info is there lah.
Most of the info lah. Yeah,
Okay.
but you can drop us the DM and then I can always entertain you guys
Okay,
and let
okay,
you know
okay.
more information lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I know you're a busy man, right?
Yeah.
So we do want to end off with something we call the one SHIOK thing segment.
Yeah.
We gave you a heads up, Andrew. You better have done your homework.
No, it's too fast.
Come on the
Too fast
spot.
and
2
heads up.
minutes. Your match is 2 minutes.
Dude, correct. You are the king of improvising and all, right?
Yeah. But we can do first lah.
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
first. And between us, Terence, can you go first?
Yeah. I recently listened to a podcast by the New York Times called Sway. I can't remember the name of the host, but she's a protege of Walt Mossberg, who used to be the tech reviewer at Wall Street Journal lah. So she interviews a lot of people in the tech scene and all. And just recently, she interviewed Walt Mossberg about all the tech companies, big tech and everything. And the interesting thing about the interview was that Walt Mossberg, he's very famous for being friends with Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these people over the years. Basically, he just came out and said that he thinks Mark Zuckerberg is like the most amoral tech leader out there lah. Which is very much in line with everything you're hearing about the metaverse and Facebook and all these things these days. So just to hear from someone who literally who knows all them like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Zuckerberg, for him to so openly say that he thinks Zuckerberg is really like the devil, it was a quite interesting listen, and it gives you a little glimpse of what Zuckerberg really is like as a person, And I think it's just interesting given all the recent announcements about Facebook and everything lah. So if you're into this kind of podcasts about big tech,
And the podcast is called Sway.
Sway, yeah.
Sway, okay, cool.
Sweet.
My one SHIOK thing is also a podcast. Andrew, doesn't mean you also have to come with a podcast. Okay? It's just that the kind of stuff that we consume. It is a podcast by Tim Ferriss. And why I think it's interesting is because it is about the space of crypto and NFTs and Web 3.0 and all these terms that you hear being thrown about all over, right? And I'm still very new to the premise of it. So he sits down with two guests, Naval Ravikant and Chris Dixon, both of whom are very good at taking these complex topics and making it understandable to someone like me, a layman like me. So I thought if anyone is interested in that sort of things, this would be a nice start because Tim Ferriss, he also is admittedly new to the stuff. So he asked questions that I would ask myself, lah. All those kind of noob questions. So yeah, it's a nice intro to the space, lah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Cool. Now, Andrew, spotlight on you.
Can you share any article,
Anything in the past few days, or even since you haven't, this is the first time on our show. Anything in the past few years, also.
Right. Okay. I think for most of the viewers, they're not aware that there's actually a pro wrestling drama lah. I recently chanced upon this pro wrestling drama lah. It's a kids program lah. Yeah, it's called My Buddy Bachelor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it features like some of the SPW wrestlers as well. Some cameos from the SPW wrestlers lah.
So it's made in Singapore, filmed
It's
in
made in
Singapore.
Singapore, filmed by Singapore, produced by some of the greatest minds in the pro wrestling scene in Singapore lah. I don't know who, but I think it's quite interesting. Yeah.
So
basically the story is about this kid, like he drew an imaginary wrestler to life. Yeah, so only he can see this imaginary pro wrestler lah.
Got it.
So yeah, this pro wrestler will be like his guardian angel lah. Give him like some tips, some advice that are good. Some advices are quite bad, but it helps build up his confidence and of course like him trying to chase his dreams. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And where can people watch it? There's a link that we can put in the show notes lah.
Yeah. I think it's available on YouTube as well.
Okay.
For Octo lah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's called My Buddy Bachelor lah. Yeah.
Buddy
Okay.
Bachelor.
Cool. We'll put a link in the show notes.
I feel like the Bachelor is like this, like Singapore's Darth Vader lah.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel he's got covered up, animated. Yeah. But it's nice. Like, but the story is good. Yeah.
Sorry, it's
A lot of like wrestling and stuff. Yeah. I feel like you should be promoted.
I see.
For
Got
more
it.
of the hardcore wrestling fans or something you want to watch, like something lighthearted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Cool, man. All right. Thanks so much for sharing, dude.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Thank
And
you.
thanks for coming onto our podcast.
No problem.
I'm sure
guys.
this is not going to be
Thanks for
the
having
last
me.
thing that we create with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly want to like do more fun stuff with you guys, like running around Orchard Road in underwear.
Correct.
And then what I was wearing like the becoming a Pikachu.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go.
Oh
Pikachu,
shit! Yeah,
that's
we have
right,
to
that's
put
right.
all the links in the show notes
All the
to
old
all the
videos.
YouTube
Bro.
videos we made with
As a
Andrew.
pro wrestler, you have to be an entertainer. It doesn't matter what kind of
Correct.
gimmick you do.
Yeah.
You just do your job.
So
Make people
literally,
remember you, right?
yeah, literally in one video where we were parodying Nas Daily, Andrew and his SPW wrestlers ran down Orchard Road in diapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pikachu one, he was basically a human Pikachu whose clothes got ripped off. And yeah, we've made Andrew
Pizza Hut as well. The pizza one. The Pizza Hut.
yeah.
That,
Bouncer, yeah.
Went in-
bouncer. Yes.
went
yes.
in to intimidate polytechnic students.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Andrew, we've done
So
so
a
done
lot
a
of
lot.
stuff, and then like
Wow.
the National Day
National
music
Day.
video,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Correct.
Ben
Trump,
Davis with Mr. Noah Yap.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
we gotta put all we'll
Yeah,
put
we'll
all
put
these
links.
things in the show notes.
Yeah,
oh my god.
But I
Wow.
really want to thank you guys as well. Like it's because of you guys, you made me like, I got more like awareness from the YouTube scene as well. That's why like
Dude,
I work with
anytime, man.
other like YouTube channels as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so good to know that we helped in some way, lah.
Thank you.
Awesome, cool, man. All
I
right.
can't wait for SPW shows to come back on.
Yeah.
I
really
can't
miss
wait
that
to organize
atmosphere.
events as well because I really want like I really want like new fans to actually feel the energy since like Dante Chen has like right now made history and be it's in Singapore, it's in the WWE right now,
Yeah.
first Singaporean in WWE.
Yeah.
So of course people want to see like what we can offer to them, and of course like trust me, once you actually watch our events,
Yeah,
You be
it
hooked
will
to it.
change. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
sure.
so next time when you're ready to announce, just come back on our show, man.
Yeah.
no problem.
Awesome, cool.
Yes,
Thanks so much, dude.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Peace
Take
out
care.
and thanks for listening.
I just gotta say that, man.
Nice.